Tuesday at 4 o'clock, and you are in for an icy treat. Last week, after we ascended to the peak of the mountain, we looked around. Guess what we saw?
What?
Yet another summit. Yeah. So grab your oxygen, everybody, like my grandma. We're headed to the... It's not funny, she has challenges breathing.
It is.
No,
Really?
She doesn't smoke. Not afraid of a little bottle, though. No.
Okay, go ahead.
Dusty, not funny. Yeah,
Terrible.
We're headed to Rare Air, an all Super Bowl roster edition of the coldest segment in all of sports. It's Mahomes Mountain, but everybody's on it.
Yes, and you might wonder, how can it be called Mahomes Mountain? It was called Mahomes Mountain because it's the quarterbacks and because he's at the top. Well, guess what, guys? Spoiler alert. He's going to be at the top of this mountain, too. But it is 21 players, 6 rows, and these two teams have so much talent. The following guys didn't make the mountain. 2 All-Pros, Joe Tooney and Hufanga, because of injury, because they're out for the game. But Javarius Ward, who was an All-Pro, did not make the mountain. Eric Armstead did not make the mountain after I talked to a smart defensive personnel who's grinding the All-22 and said wasn't that impressed. I won't name who it was. Might be sitting next to me. All right, here we go. Row 6. Row 6 for the mountain.
Come on.
Dre Greenlaw, Javon Hargrave, 2 of the reasons that this Niners front 7 is the strength of their team defensively, at least. I think one of the most underrated safeties in the league, Justin Reed. Oh, and also on the mountain of the 21 guys, 10 of them are the best in the league at their position. 2 of them right there next to each other. Harrison Butker, ever since Justin Tucker fell off of it the last couple of years, trash talk didn't help. Kyle Juszczyk and Brock Purdy making the mountain for the 21 best players in the Super Bowl in year 2. It is a remarkable story of perseverance, an underdog story, a guy going from Mr. Irrelevant to a Super Bowl mountaintop in his first year as a starter.
True.
It's
Even
amazing.
Though he doesn't mean it
and again, Wilds, if we can remind the audience, the mountain is top to bottom. What is it not?
I'm not with you on that.
Well, you're right.
What do you mean?
We've got sources on the committee.
There's no committee either. It is not left to right.
It's left.
It is who would have a fullback ahead of the quarterback. Give me a break. All right, now the top 15. Isaiah Pacheco, another underdog story, a 7th-round pick, but nobody he was the 7th to last player pick, so he doesn't get any of the notoriety. George Kittle, top 3 tight end in football. Jerry Rashee Rice, who is up 20 yards away from the 2nd most receiving yards in the postseason by any rookie ever. The best center in football, Creed Humphrey. And this year, first-team All-Pro in the slot corner. We won't call him the best slot corner, but he was first-team All-Pro. It's the nickel corner, Trent McDuffie, a great draft pick they got with the Tyreek Hill trade. Now for our top 10. Brandon Ayuk, fresh off the best season of his career. Fred Warner, the best middle linebacker in the sport. Deebo Samuel, when healthy, one of the best jack of all trades in the sport. Nicky Bosa, of course, that's an all 9 in a row, my goodness.
Wow.
Nicky Bosa, one of the better edge rushers in the league and the best of the 2 Bosa brothers. Now to your top 6. All 3 of these guys, the best in the world at what they do. Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in football. Chris Jones is the best defensive tackle in football. With respect to Aaron Donald, Chris Jones has surpassed him. And L'Jarius Sneed this year was the best coverage corner in the entire NFL. Now to the top 3. You have the best left tackle in the league, the best tight end ever, the best playoff tight receiver not named Jerry Rice ever, and the best tight end in football. And then, of course, atop the mountain, the best quarterback in the world. 10 of the positions across the entire league, the best players at them are in this game right here. Coach, that is the Super Bowl edition of Mahomes Mountain.
It's a nice mountain.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It's a little bit more palatable than the ones you normally put together. I need to move CMC up. I need to move him up. I think the impact that he's had on the 49ers can't be overstated. So they're 22-6 since he's gotten there. Okay, and the difference between him and a lot of guys at his position is he can go out and he can catch passes and he can work on linebackers, he can work on safeties. He's got that versatility, and usually when you have those guys, then you're giving up something in some other area. But he's excellent as a blocker, so he can pick up linebackers and blitz protection. He can do that very well. He can hit the edge in the running game, and he can run downhill. So very rarely do you find a back that has all those elements to it. Nick talked about his impact and his numbers this season, but to me it's the impact that he's had on the team itself and how dangerous he is on a simple check down to take the ball 60 yards, which you don't find with most backs. And his issue over the course of his career hasn't been ability by any stretch. It's been, availability or durability. So to me, he deserves to move up and have the same impact as either Trent or Kelsey.
Okay, so a couple things. One is, one of my favorite kind of coach anecdotes from way early, years when we were in the old studio, is you would talk about guys, I don't know if you would say show muscles or effective muscles. You would talk about guys, the difference between guys who are effectively really strong and guys who just look great coming off the bus. I feel like Christian McCaffrey and Mahomes are great examples of that first category. So we saw that video of McCaffrey walking around his house with all the bruises and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't look as ripped as some of the other. No, he looks strong.
Big, yeah.
No, he looks strong, but he clearly has, I think, some intentional weight on him that makes him so bouncy off these guys, and one of the reasons he's so effective. I think he is far and away the best running back in football, but I have to, as Doyle Brunson would do, put a man to a decision. Who are you moving down? Trent Williams or Travis Kelce?
I would move Trent Williams down.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah,
Don't tell
look,
him that.
the record with Trent versus
Okay.
Christian is dramatically different. Trent and the impact that Christian has in the game.
All right.
I mean, it's much more
I
extensive.
was ready for a whole Travis Kelce rebuttal.
No,
but you went Trent
Travis
Williams, so
Kelce
that's
is
fine.
perfect.
Let's go ahead.
Nick, I'm sorry to do this. I have to call you out.
Why?
There we go.
I don't understand
Thank you.
how in like 4 days of nothing going on since last Thursday, what is that? 5 days, whatever. Kyle Juszczyk becomes better than Brock Purdy.
He's not better.
Because Dusty, can we see the graphic?
Yes.
This was not even a week ago.
Yes, that
I
is
don't
in
see
order.
Juszczyk
That
on
is
there.
left to right. Correct.
I see. So how does Juszczyk move
He
ahead
hasn't.
of Brock Purdy?
He hasn't. What do
That
you
is
mean?
an excellent point.
Right.
It is not left to right. It is
Y'all
how many times
doing
I have
something
to
at
tell
these
you.
committee
It is
meetings.
levels of the
Y'all
mountain.
little
Is this
tipsy.
all
Y'all
that you have?
forgetting
There is
stuff.
no committee.
No,
It
that is
just
that's
me.
just the one.
No, I don't have
quickly,
Juszczyk ahead of it.
I do think Fred Warner
It's
should be
reverse
switched
alphabetical order by
with
first
Snead. As much as I like Snead, I would switch Warner, put Warner where Snead's at. Switch those two. And Brock Purdy, this is my beef, should be up there where Brandon Ayuk is. All right? Ayuk is great, but somebody threw him all those passes, and it was Brock Purdy.
Hold on.
Debo is banged up a lot. So I thought a few years ago, I thought he was the best football player in the world.
Wait a minute.
But we got to take him down a little bit. I would actually switch Kittle and Debo too. And having Pacheco, I don't know if anybody on national television has pubbed up Isaiah Pacheco like me. I said reminds me of Marshawn Lynch. All right? But you cannot have him. Didn't even rush for 1,000 yards this year. Rashee Rice ahead of Brock Purdy?
Wait a
I mean,
second.
what are we talking about?
So you think Brock Purdy
should be on that
I just want to
fourth
make
tier.
it very clear. And you are left to right. That is your belief. So you think he is the 7th best football
No, you would
player in this
put.
game?
No, I said Warner. Like when I did mine
that's fine.
last
7th.
week, Warner I'm saying he should be on that level. Pull Ayuk down from that level and put Purdy on that level. You put him next to Bosa, but put him on that level.
So you are left
So
to
he
right
should
or you're
be
not?
moving up.
Yeah, I'm just
No, he could, but he can be to the right.
Okay.
Of that.
So you think Brock Purdy's better than George Kittle?
No, I said Kittle ahead of Debo.
Well,
Debo's been banged up, so
So
I
you
take
think Brock
Debo
Purdy's
down.
better than Debo?
Right now, because Debo's
Okay.
banged up
I do-
and hurt, misses a lot of games.
Yeah, and when he misses those games, Brock Purdy can't play.
No, actually, they were 3-0 without Debo last year when Trent Williams played.
Oh.
This year they lost without Debo because Trent Williams was out.
Okay, so Brock
and they
Purdy-
already
Brock
got a
Purdy-
bottom third offensive line that Purdy's had to maneuver and scramble against.
Facts.
We saw it last Detroit. Can the brothers scramble?
Yeah.
All right? Yeah, I said it
Dan
with
Campbell.
my chest. Brock Purdy should be on the 4th level.
I agree with that.
All right, so Brew thinks Brock Purdy's the 7th or 8th best player in the Super Bowl. I disagree.
I've got someone that's not even on the mountain.
Whoa.
Wow.
Tony.
Oh, gosh.
You've done it again. Tony. Now, granted, he hasn't had a
That was a while
target
ago.
since the Patriots game before Christmas. And he did go on his Instagram and was taken out of context.
Yeah.
He claims.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was or not, but he was taken out of
He
context.
wasn't.
He was talking to Giants fans.
Yeah,
Not
take that, Ramsey.
necessarily-
He's talking to you,
Talking
buddy.
to you, Ramsey.
Exactly.
Sorry about that. Just the numbers on the year. He's got 27 catches for 170 yards. So, Not great, don't get me wrong. But the other thing, Tony, could he do it again? Huge impact in the Super Bowl.
What,
65 yards and basically won the game.
Secret weapon.
So I think he belongs on the mountain a little bit of
he doesn't belong on the mountain.
He belongs on
But
the mountain. Won the
is,
Super Bowl
and
time.
Brew, I don't know if you've gotten to this part of your all-22 studying yet or not. I'm not being a smart aleck there. Here is one thing that is tricky for the Chiefs in this game. The Niners, against the Chiefs and everyone, are super vulnerable to jet sweeps. Bosa and Chase Young crashed down. The Lions scored a touchdown against them with it. Last year when the Chiefs hung 44 on them, McCole Hardman scored 2 on those jet sweeps. And it's always been a big part of Andy's game plan, particularly in the red zone. But the guys who get those are Kadarius Toney and McCole Hardman. Hardman, who in round 2 had 2 touches and 2 fumbles. 1 was at the goal line. And Toney, who has been just popping balls up to defenders all year. And so, again, my recommendation for Kadarius Toney is drop down, not up. Like, I don't mind the drops, just knock the ball down. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.